And then I started looking at YouTube channels to see if anyone's talking about football, and I couldn't find anything. At the time, I think I only found Copper 90 and AFTV.
Okay.
So I did that and I sent it to Robbie. He's like, oh, this is really good, because I sat there like, today's news, just chatting whatever the helicopters. And the comments were just so horrible. 80% good, 20% bad, but that 20% bad just stood out to me. I just kept it to myself. I never really made a big thing about it. I just knew that it was there, and I started becoming so image conscious. And you just have to get on with it, because you can sit at home and cry about it and just do nothing. Today, what I realized is no one's really going to feel sorry for you except for yourself. That's one of that, in that period, that's when I started questioning myself. I was like, I don't fit into what anyone else is doing right now. I've seen that he's done it his way, and obviously I could take points of what he's doing. Now the YouTube community is bigger and better. There's so many rooms for collaborations now, and I was getting mad views on certain videos as well, and I don't know why, but that scared me.
And we are live. Yes, welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Coach Gerald Lami podcast. Today I've got a special guest. Okay, another one. We've got Pippa Monique in the building. What's happening, Pips?
Hey, I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I wish I had that button, that sound, that like, just had the claps, whatever. Just yeah, man. Welcome, though, man. Welcome. How you been?
I've been okay, just adjusting to life as it is now.
Yeah.
Which I feel like I kind of have. It's been so long. I feel like it is my life now.
Yeah.
Just being at home, making content from home, and just adjusting.
Yeah.
Getting on with it.
No, I can imagine, man. And as a content creator as well, like you said, like has it been doing it from home? Because obviously you're usually going out and about and things like that. How's it been for yourself being at home and doing it? Have you enjoyed it?
It's not been as bad as I thought it was, because I thrive off of like doing match day content, being out and about, meeting new people. Because the amount of people I've met in this industry alone, just from being out there and going to matches or events, I love, even if I'm not creating content, I love just being in those places. But doing it from home is giving me more flexibility. Like I can literally just record when I want, just jump in the chair.
Just put that top on, that's it. Yeah, just get on with it.
Literally, the only struggle I have is, like, I was during the transfer window, I was doing regular updates as soon as they landed. And the only problem with me, because I've got two young ones, it's just like, if they're in the background making noise, can't really do what I want to do. Whereas before I could just still be at school, because school was off for ages. Normally they'll be at school and I could just film my content or go to the stadium itself. But that's the only setback I really had, childcare in the early times. But it's been good though.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. It's definitely like, even for myself, to be honest with you, like I would have never thought I'm starting this, do you know what I mean, over the lockdown, and just the amount of people that I've just connected through this. It's been amazing, man. And obviously there's been times where you're just like, just want to get back to normal, do you know what I mean? But yeah, man, it's all about, as human beings, we're adjustable. Do you know what I mean? Whatever situation that we're in, we can always adjust. So it's all part of it, man. But Pip, just to give you a little brief background of the podcast. So in terms of the podcast, we're always trying to give people an insight in terms of the different different parts of the industry, especially obviously football. You yourself as a female, getting into a male predominantly industry is quite difficult, and for you, the way you've come around and got yourself to a certain platform is amazing to see, and full props to you with everything that you've been doing. And this is why I was just eager to get you on, because I'm sure there's a lot of people, whether it be male or female, like just what you've done is inspirational to a lot of people. And for people to understand there's different avenues that they can go into. It's not just, for instance, just playing, because, like myself, when I stopped playing football, it was just like, what else can I do? Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, I tried this, I tried that. And it's like, you won't get the same feeling as playing football, but just so people can realize that there's different avenues that you can go down to. And you're still part of the game. You're still enjoying, do you know what I mean? Still being part of the game. Like you've interviewed amazing people, obviously, on your platform, and obviously working with AFTV. So yeah, that's just more so just to give people their flowers. And, like yourself, you've been doing really, really well. So make sure people check her out, man, because it's some real dope stuff. And do you know what I mean? Sometimes we don't, like, when we look back at it and it's like, you know what? I actually done some sick stuff, but people don't really realize what you've done. Like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, man, props to you, Pips.
Thanks, man. The journey still continues.
I can imagine, for sure, man, for sure. And as an Arsenal fan, we'll touch on Arsenal at the moment. Okay, we've had Mr. Party that's coming to the building, which I'm eager to see on the pitch, man, and the way we kind of set up and things like that. But as an Arsenal fan, obviously we've had years of just like misery. if I could put it that way.
Basically.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, well, finding out we're getting someone that's looking like he might be not a replacement for Vieira, because I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, he's the new Vieira." But for me personally, I think they're similar players, but I think it's a different time, different age, different way of playing football these
Exactly.
days. So I think he's going to be his own player. But Arsenal as a whole, I'm going to ask you: has your outlook on the transfers that we've made so far, and what's your expectations this season for Arsenal?
Do you know what? I'm actually pleasantly surprised because we have to take into account like it's Arteta's first transfer window,
Yeah,
and we've seen him come in to the team. Was it last year December? Um, and he's done quite a lot in that time that not many managers could do. Like he's won the FA Cup, he's won the Community Shield, and he's beaten opposition that no fans expected him to beat
yeah,
because an informed Liverpool, informed Manchester City, and he still managed to do that at Wembley, at Emirates, and you have to give him his props. And
yeah,
obviously the fans were like, okay, he's doing this. We're seeing improvements in the squad, but can he get back in from the board? Because that's always been the problem, no matter who
yeah.
stepped in. Emery, of all those years under Wenger, it always seemed like we didn't have the money. Do you know what I
Hmm.
mean? And there's always players and managers even, because in those last few years of Wenger being at Arsenal, loads of Arsenal fans were looking, saying, oh, Wenger needs to leave, but who can we replace him with?
Hmm.
Everyone always has an idea who they want to come into the club, but we never get who we want.
Yeah,
So Emery coming in, it was like, okay, that's not who we wanted. We wanted Ancelotti, we wanted this man, we wanted that man, Allegri. And then he comes in and you think, fine, we'll do that because he's won the Europa League so
yeah,
and so times and we're in the Europa League now. And then he doesn't do too well. Then Arteta comes in, you think, okay, this is strange. Like he was playing for us a couple of years ago, went to Manchester City, which no one understood why he did that anyway.
yeah.
Became second man in command. Now he's come here and he's like, oh, he actually has got a managerial brain because he's doing okay. Okay, we've got faith in him. But
Hmm.
what happens next? Because we want these players. We were lucky to get a Aubameyang, I think so, because we wanted him for years. It's like
Yeah.
2015 or something. We got him. We got Lacazette, players that we actually wanted. But those were under Wenger. He's got the pulling power. He speaks French and all that as well.
Hmm.
So he can get those players. So when Arteta's here, his first transfer window, I'm like, who can he really bring in?
Mm.
So when I saw Gabriel come, a player that we wanted, I was like, wow, okay,
And he
let's
turned
do
down other
this.
clubs as
Just,
well.
yeah, turn on Manchester United apparently as well. And then I'm hearing Willian. When I heard Willian, I wasn't excited, but I was like, okay, Premier League experience,
Hmm.
good player still. Okay, Brazilian in the mix again. Let's do that. And then Partey is a player that we wanted for
Yeah,
time. Like
for
even I put
time.
it on my story in like March or something. Like after one wicked performance he had at Atletico Madrid, I was like,
Mm.
we need to bring him. I did not think for one second because we've been speaking about him since March,
Yeah, yeah.
more so, more so over the months of like August and September. But I didn't think we'd actually get him,
Mm.
and it's good that we nailed him down just in time, last minute transfer window.
Yeah.
Obviously he's excited to join the team. We haven't even got the pictures yet of him. That's how quickly it was done.
I know.
There's no pictures of him in an Arsenal shirt yet because
We always
they're trying
make
to
it
get a
hard
quick
for ourselves,
signature.
innit? I don't understand. Like, why do we make it so hard for us? Like, this could have been done from the beginning because all it was is
I know.
45 million, go to La Liga, get the deal done. That's it. You would have had Partey. Then, you know what I'm saying, with Hossam Aouar, I don't even know how to say this guy's
Mm,
name yet, but you could
yeah,
obviously, I could understand why it could go down to last minute with him, but with
yeah.
Partey, it's an easy one. Just 45 and 45 million is not even a lot these days, especially for a player like him. Like, you saw
I swear we
Diego
sold Willian
Jota.
for that much.
I think it was
Something around that.
a little like
30, 30
30s.
something.
Yeah, 30
But
something. Yeah.
still, it's not a big. It's
No,
not.
it's not a big difference. Do you know what I mean? And it's like Jota went to Liverpool for 45 million and
Mm,
he's not Partey. Do you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I don't understand why we make it so hard for us. So, but going back to our fan base, sometimes when things are not going right for us, like we always try, like we start getting onto the team and saying like this and that, but then it's like 2 weeks ago everything was cool and now all of a sudden this is like the worst team that we've ever had or the manager's not good enough. Like, do you feel like,
Mm,
because we're going to have a patch that without a doubt we're going to have a patch where things are not going to go right, do you know what I mean, under Arteta? Do you feel like the fan
yeah.
base will turn on that, will turn on him, shall I say?
That patch, believe it or not, well, I don't want to believe it, but I feel like that patch is going to be now, and I want it to be sooner rather than later, because now the expectations are high for what he's done
Yeah,
last season, and people will could discredit it and say it's only FA Cup, only this, but he still won things, right?
yeah,
So now the expectations here, like, okay, he's done now. Now let's get into Champions League. Now let's win the Europa. Now let's get top four. Do you know what I mean? So if he doesn't do that, fans are definitely going to make
yeah,
noise about it. But I don't think this is the time that we're going to do that. I mean, it'll be great if we can get to top four, but Give it time. This is his first transfer window. Let him at least have 2 more before we can really start challenging for things, because we didn't get all the players we wanted. And we're not just going to get it in one transfer window, even though some clubs do. We didn't. So there's going to be that patch. And I feel like, of course, everyone can have their opinion, have their say, but I feel like it's too soon to be negative towards him, because it's not going to be good all the time.
No, for sure not. And that's just that's life in general, do you know what I mean? Let alone football. But what's your expectations for us this season?
I predicted before the transfer window, I predicted we'll finish 5th, which I still think, as crazy as it sounds in 2020, I still think that's a decent finish.
Yeah.
But if we can, it's possible, if we can get top 4, that's what I want. But I don't want to put the pressure too high on Arteta yet. But I know that he's pressuring himself to get top 4. I know he wants to win Europa.
Yeah.
To get in Champions League that way, or top 4, either way, he wants to get back into Champions League. If he does it in this season, I'd be amazed. But I want top 4, but I reckon 5th, because there's a lot of teams right now that are doing very well, and there's a lot of teams that's going to creep back up into things throughout the course of the season. So hopefully we're one of them, though.
So who's the 4 in front of us?
Well, what I predicted, which actually I think I might be wrong about now, but when I predicted it at the end of whatever month that was, I'm so lost with the time frames now. But I predicted Liverpool, City might not even be in there, but no, but Liverpool, City, Chelsea, and who did I put 4th?
Chelsea, yeah.
I did, only because they did all their transfer activity so early. I thought, but now I've seen them play, I'm just like, 5th, maybe 6th.
Do you know what? It's mad. It's mad because sorry, go on, finish off the list. I can't
remember who I put 4th. It might have been Man United, but that's a myth now. Now that I've seen them play, myth.
Do you think this might be a Leicester season? Like things are just gonna be mad.
Maybe for Everton.
For Everton, they might lift it.
Boy, mate, if they carry on, like maybe for Everton. No, but I don't think they'll be able to carry on that long because they ain't got the squad depth like that.
Yeah. Once they get a few injuries, they're done.
Yeah, if certain people fall off, then it's
yeah.
But if they can keep it up, definitely top 4, mate, or Leicester again.
Boy, you never know, man. But yeah, no. Do you know what? I think like with Chelsea, because like when I've done a few podcasts with the boys as well, it's like I think I put Chelsea in the top 4, but at the same time, I was just like, there's too many new players in the team, and it can go either way. They could really gel, or like it's going to take a bit of time. Do you know what I'm saying? And you could see already. I mean, they haven't had the full squad as of yet. They haven't had the likes of Ziyech. They haven't had Pulisic in the team as well. So I think give them time. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, forgot about Pulisic. Do you know what I mean? He's another baller.
He's one of the players from there that I actually really like.
He's dope, man. He's dope. Yeah. He's cold, man. He's cold for real. But in terms of us going forward, do you think we're going to change our shape? Do you think we're going to go with a back 4 rather than the 3 at the back?
I think he should. I mean, I like when we play 3 at the back against certain oppositions. It works. It works tactically for certain games. Like the game against Liverpool at home, that works because let them keep hold of possession. We go on the counter. But I think we need to go back to a traditional back 4. Now that we've got Partey, we could play in a diamond formation, 4-1-4-1, or just 4 at the back. And as long as he's just there in front of the defenders, I think we should go forward doing that. Yeah,
man. It's crazy, isn't it? Like once you sign that one player, it kind of gives you so much flexibility, like going forward in terms of like shape and things like that. And I feel we've got that. I think we got that balance now coming slowly to the team where we can change formations within a game or before a game. Do you know what I mean? So it's sick, man. But what's your take on Ozil, man? Like
I was just gonna say that,
is he being done dirty?
With this formation,
what's going on?
With this formation, we've been spoilt with who we could put in number 10 now, but then we're not spoilt because he's been unregistered for Europa.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, what's going on?
And the maddest thing is, I was talking about this on my live stream on transfer deadline day when Partey was just announced. And someone in the comments was like, who do you think will be the unregistered player this season? And I thought, I don't know, maybe like Saliba and Socrates, because we've got bare centre-backs and Saliba's not playing. Never for a second did I think it'll be Ozil, because I said Europa League may be the place where we actually see him play. He's been dropped out now. That means we're definitely not seeing him in the league. We haven't seen him in the league or Carabao Cup. And I thought, okay, maybe Europa. Now he's not registered for that. We're not seeing him in an Arsenal shirt until his contract's finished. We're just not.
Do you think it's the manager though? Do you think it's the board?
It can't be the manager. Or I don't know them personally. But from what I do know, Mesut Ozil and Arteta were friends from when they were playing together. And for as far as I'm aware, they're cool. Apparently, they live on the same road. They live on the same street, so they see each other at work and outside. Well, they don't see each other
Yeah.
because they live
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
big gated community,
Yeah.
but you know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean? But like, I don't think it's Arteta. I'll be shocked if it is. It
Mm.
has to be something to. It has to be the club because
Yeah, man.
to be dropped out like that, it has to be the club's decision. It's the
Yeah.
board. It's got to be. It's got to be something to do with affecting their finances or something like that. Because we heard about the comments he made about China, and apparently that affected Arsenal's market in
Yeah.
China and
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
finances and their advertising. If that's the reason, that is cold. Like, I
Yeah,
know
man.
money matters for a business, but this is your player. You're paying him 350k a week. Use him.
Yeah.
Use
Yeah.
him. You want to win things. If he's still in his prime, which a lot of fans will argue and say he's not, but if he still can bring some quality to the team, use him.
I think he'll. But you know what? I mean, we first when Arteta came through, like he was actually playing. Do you know what I mean? And you could see the difference in him as well. Like, if you can change Xhaka and do you know what I mean, and change a lot of these other players,
Mm-hmm.
a world class player like Ozil, he's bound to do bits as well for us. But yeah, it's
Exactly.
interesting, man. But it's all the politics of football behind the scenes that a lot of us won't get to see. So,
And
but,
and
yeah, go
I
on.
can't forget to mention like the fact that he offered to pay the Gunnosaurus's wages. I don't know
Man,
if
like
he was trying to
Jerry.
make the club look bad or like if
Yeah,
he meant that from his heart. I know he's a very charitable guy,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but it's put Arsenal in a position now where like if they don't accept the offer, they look bad. If they do accept the offer, it's
yeah.
because Mesut forced them to. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think it's a bit of both, man. It's crazy because even that message like to Gunduzi that he sent out, do you know what I mean? It's like
oh yeah, what did it say again? I didn't actually.
he
He
just
said
said
my
like,
baby or something like that.
yeah, he just said like, yeah, good luck, ma, something or whatever in it. Like, and it's like when you're in football, obviously you have groups in it. Especially I've been in groups where like I ain't played, so there's a group of us that are
Mm,
not playing, and it's like in your mind you're always like, oh man, forget these lot or whatever, blah blah. Or you're just trying to get back into the squad, and it's like you always have that little core group. So I feel like obviously they haven't played, and they've had their
yeah.
own issues with Arsenal. So it's just kind of like not a dig at Arsenal. Obviously, good luck to him, but obviously this is
Mm,
my boy as well. Do you know what I mean? And he's in the same boat as me. Do you know what I mean? So it's
mm,
like kind of that sort of thing. And obviously now Gunnosaurus, man, like Jerry, like been there for time. So yeah,
mm.
it's crazy, man. But I think it's a
I'm
bit of
shocked
both.
about that, because
Me
as
too,
naive
man.
as it sounds, no, no, not just about that situation. As naive as it sounds, I just
Oh,
never thought it was the same person inside the costume every match day. I just thought
yeah.
it was just a member of staff that works for Arsenal and just
Nah,
takes turns to be a mascot. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Jerry's been doing it for time. Obviously, I know Jerry. I used to
oh,
work for Arsenal as well. So Jerry's been doing it
okay,
for time. Like, yeah, yeah, he's a good guy, man. So yeah,
oh, bless
I
him.
think a lot of people have been affected during this time anyway. But
Yeah,
bruv,
Jerry's seen me bare times, and if it's the same person, I've hugged Gunnosaurus
probably,
bare
yeah.
time.
Of course he has. Of course he probably knows you. You don't know him, but
Yeah.
yeah, man. Nah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But we'll get into a little bit about obviously yourself, like in terms of the industry. Like I said
Mm,
previously before, it's a very not even just for women, but just in general, like for men as well, like trying to find a team to play for, make it as a professional, or even the
yeah.
different departments of football, like presenting and things like that. Like, where did the passion come from? Like, in terms of saying, you know what, this is the career path that I want to go down.
I used to write a lot, which is
Okay.
crazy because I don't write at all anymore. I always feel like I can't even string a sentence together anymore, which is mad. But I used to write a lot when I was at uni, and obviously I used to always watch football a lot. So
Yeah.
I watched football a lot. But as a football fan yourself, it's actually time consuming to actually sit
Yeah.
down and watch player games. So
For sure.
I wouldn't watch it avidly. I'll just watch what I can and always make sure I can catch Arsenal at least match of the day. But then when I was pregnant with Raphael, my firstborn,
Mm.
I was pretty much at home all the time. Like I was one of those pregnant ones that I wasn't active.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would literally the weekend I would watch every match. Super Sunday, I'm not moving. I'd watch a bit of La Liga. I'll watch a tiny bit of Bundesliga. Like I would watch
Yeah.
football because I was living at my mum's then. I set up my little room nicely. I bought Sky Sports, the whole package. I bought everything. I think this was before BT Sports. I thought, all right, I'm paying
Yeah.
all this money. Let me make it worth it. So I used to
Yeah. Yeah.
watch everything. And then from there, I always had a passion for football. But when I started watching it more and more, I was like, oh, I want to get into this somehow because I used to play when I was younger,
Okay.
not
Sick.
professionally, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
used to play for like West Ham, which
Oh,
sounds
wicked.
professional, but it was not professional.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
West
Yeah.
Ham juniors, um, and so the passion's always been there. But then when I started watching, I was like, oh, what can I do about this? And at the time at uni, was starting blogs, and the lecturer was like, write a blog that you're passionate about, and I was like, oh, let me just do football,
Hmm.
and I started writing it, and people in my class used to read it. Like they was like, this is actually good. So
Yeah.
I started making it public. So like I made an actual separate one so it'll be public for like anyone around the world to access it. And it started getting mad views and traction from all over the world. And I don't understand how, because it was the first time I ever started a blog page, and people from USA, Kenya, I don't know, Germany, all these people were reading. I was like, this is crazy. And I used to get emails and messages all the time saying, start a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel. Bear in mind, this was 2011. And I was like, YouTube, I can't be on camera. I'm
trust
not,
me.
I don't want people to see me. Like, no, I don't want to do that. And then I started looking at YouTube channels to see if anyone's talking about football. And I couldn't find anything at the time. I think maybe this is 2012 now, 2013. At the time, I think I only found Copper 90 and AFTV.
Okay.
And at the time, AFTV had like 4,000 subscribers. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. This is my club. Like, I want to do something like this. So I just emailed them. Robbie, I emailed him. And I was like, oh, this is what I do. I'm a student. I want to get into football media. I write. Do you have a website? I can write for your website, blah, 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 blah. And I sent him the link to my blog. And there was a video on there where I did this Sky Sports thing. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen those. Like at O2 Arena, they used to have this like Sky Sports Hub, where you'd go in. You'd go in, and they'll sit you in the seat, and it's the whole Sky Sports setup, like the desk, the newsreader thing, and you'd have to read off the teleprompter the news. It was just like it's not a real thing, but it's just something you can do, and they send you the DVD or the clip or whatever in your email. So I did that, and I sent it to Robbie. He's like, oh, this is really good, because I sat there like, today's news, just chatting whatever the teleprompter. And he's like, oh, you're really good, we should get you on AFTV. And I was like, oh no, I want to write, type of thing. So I had a meeting with him. And he's like, no, you should present, and I was like, me, because I'd never been in front of camera. I was like, I'm not doing that. Then I did it. It's like 2013. And I did the Emirates Cup. Can't remember who played. I think Galatasaray or something, and another team. And I did the pre-match stuff. And the comments were just so horrible. They wasn't. It was probably like 80% good, and 20% bad. But that 20% bad just stood out to me. I was like, nah, let me go back to writing. Because now that I've shown my face, everyone's like, oh, who's this like racist comments, sexist comments? I just thought, nah, that's dead. But I still carried on here and there, but I wasn't confident at all to be on camera. At all. So to be fair, I should have been on AFTV consistently since 2013, but because of confidence issues, I just didn't do it properly until like 2018, 19 maybe. Yeah. And for other reasons as well.
No, but that's crazy though that you said that, because I was gonna touch on that. That's mad, because you've basically been from the beginning, like when it comes to AFTV. Well, not the beginning, but you was early on. Do you know what I mean? Early on in the journey, where you kind of saw the market and you thought, you know what, let me jump onto this and whatnot and see where I can go with it. And it's like one thing leads to another. And this is something as well that I tell people is like, sometimes you gotta go for it. Do you know what I mean? You gotta sometimes just send out that email sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Even things like this, like the podcast and some of the guests that I've had, it's like I've just hit them up and just said, listen, this is what I'm doing. And some of them have replied back and said, you know what, I can't make it or whatever. Some of them have said, yeah, cool, we'll jump on. Some of them have ignored it and they've just seen it, but that's all part of the game. And it's like one thing leads to another. And it's like, as long as you're enjoying it, the energy that you put out there is always going to come back to you. Do you know what I mean? So it's like when you're trying to do good things are going to happen to you as well. Do you know what I mean? But one thing that I'm going to give you, well, there's a lot of things that people should give you credit for as well, but it's like, I ain't had that yet where it comes to like comments. I'm sure they're probably coming like, or everyone's got an opinion.
They're a lot better now, by the way. I feel like when I started, I was literally, I could be so wrong, but I felt like I was literally the only female doing football content on YouTube back in 2012. Because I don't think there was anyone else doing it. So I just stepped into the fiery line to be the first one, and I'm black as well. So it was just like, who is this? Like,
But speaking about that as well, though, man, like when you're getting those comments and whatnot, because it's easy to say, you know what, I don't want to do this no more. Like I don't really care about this. Like, and obviously, like you said, you step back away from it for a little while and whatnot. But like, what was going through your mind at that time when you're reading these comments? Because like you said, it's like we can get 99 good comments, but that one comment can like just tear us down. Like, for you, speak about your experience in terms of like, just like, what was you going through? Like, were you speaking to anyone and kind of getting advice from them? And like you said as well, it's like, it's hard, man. It's hard to read those comments.
Yeah, at the time, I don't think there was anyone that I could get advice from, because I didn't really have circles like that were in like the media or in the public eye, let's say.
Yeah.
I didn't know who to talk to, and even if it was anyone I could talk to, they weren't female.
Yeah.
So I just didn't know. I just kept it to myself. I never really made a big thing about it. I just knew that it was there, and I started becoming so image conscious. And I think this is around the time where people started becoming image conscious anyway, because it's when Instagram started to pop off as
Yeah.
well, like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
2013.
Yeah.
So it was just like everything going on at once. I started thinking, and where I just, well, I wasn't really a new mom. I was like, Raf was like 2 then, but I started thinking,
Big
oh,
up,
I'm
Raf.
fat. I'm like, oh, I'm overweight. I'm this. I like everyone's cussing me, like, and I started getting so worried about what I looked like that I wasn't
Yeah.
concentrating on what I wanted to do. I let those small comments get to me, which I don't do now, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I'm still going to do what I want to do. Everyone's
So,
going to have their opinion, because I look at things on Instagram and I think that is disgusting or that's
mm,
ridiculous, but I'm not going to comment it.
yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
keep it to myself. But there's people out there that will comment it and let it be known that they don't like it. That's their business. But
Yeah. Mm,
I, it used to affect me a lot, but it doesn't affect me now. Don't get me twisted. I still get some bad comments here and there,
yeah.
but it doesn't faze me anymore.
No,
It's
that's it.
growth.
But that's what I'm saying. Do you feel like you kind of built that resilience yourself and you kind of
Yeah.
become a bit more thick-skinned? And do you feel like that's part of the environment where we grew up as well?
Yeah, I feel like it is, because you just have to get on with it, because you can sit at home and cry about it and just do nothing, or you
Yeah.
can just get on with it. You got the two options, because
Mm,
at the end of the day, what I realized is no one's really going to feel sorry for you except for yourself.
yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
just going to look back thinking, oh, I could have done that. When, especially now, where more women are comfortable to come into this space. There's a lot more women in this space now
Yeah.
where they don't, of course, they will still get bad comments, but I don't think they're ever going to get as bad as I did back then,
Mm,
because it's more welcoming now, especially now you're seeing women on TV mainstream,
yeah.
more women on mainstream as well. It's more acceptable for women to step into the industry. So I don't feel like it's going to be as bad. Don't get twisted. Even these Sky Sports players, they still get the sexist and
Yeah.
racist comments, but you build up that resilience because you've worked so hard to get here that you can't let
Mm,
one small comment make you question your whole career.
yeah. 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 And what made you just say, you know what, forget these people, man. I'm just gonna do what I need to do. Like, what was where did the drive come from?
Because I sat there and thought, what else am I actually going to do? Like, this is what I enjoy doing. It's what I'm good at. Like, just get on with it. And
Mm,
I wasted way too much time worrying about if I was good enough or whether. And I used to think, oh, maybe these people are right. Maybe I'm actually not going to get a job because I'm black and because I'm a
yeah.
woman. And I thought, oh, why am I even trying? Because I thought to myself, what black women are doing this? There wasn't
Hmm.
even no one to look up to. There was no one I could turn on my TV and say, oh, there's a black woman. She's done it.
Yeah.
I can do it. There was nothing there. So I literally had to give myself that confidence to say, forget what they're saying. Whether you're going to make it or not, just do what makes you happy. Because there's no
Mm,
point dwelling and thinking, what else can I do? Should I just be at home and be sad?
yeah. 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 Nah, that's dope, man. And that's what I'm saying. Like, again, I wish I had them buttons, man, just to kind of just
Yeah.
Charlie Sloth thing and just boom, because it's like this is so sick, man. It's like everyone's got a story in it. Like everyone's got a journey and everyone's got their own things that they're dealing with in life as well, in it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like now, like you said, people are starting to be a little bit more open in terms of like realizing there's no point in me sending this comment if it's not going to be positive. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, don't get it twisted. There's people that are still commenting ridiculous things, but for me, it's
Yeah.
like one, it's like you must be bored. You've got nothing to do with your life that you're commenting on stupid things. Do you know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
but another thing as well, like in terms of you being a young black woman, like going into the industry, like you said, you didn't really have anyone there that you could look up to, and if there was, it'll be like things like Trisha, and it's like
And
not
that is
Trisha,
back in the day. I
but
was like
that's
a
back in the
child.
days. Do you know what I mean? But I'm saying, but
Yeah.
even that, it's like
Or big up June Sarpong.
June, yeah, do you know what I'm saying? But even things like it's like a lot of these presenters sometimes were like involved in just the whole drama sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't really see someone in the sports industry or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? So it's like even that, man, like you created your own path and you still had the vision just to go and things like that, man, which is I'm not gonna lie, man. It's incredible because again, some people might just brush it past and just be like, "Oh, just get on with it, man." But we ain't been brought up with, "Oh, here's an opportunity for you. Yeah, you can go on Sky Sports because my mate runs Sky Sports and whatnot." Like, we ain't got that. We have to build it ourselves. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the thing about like again the culture and us in general. Like, this is why big brands anyway want to come and work with a culture because they know this is where everything's happening and you can sell
Yeah.
to the culture as well and you can take things from the
Real life.
culture. Do you know what I mean? And this is why someone like Poet as well, which I rate highly, like he's been an advocate for this for years and whatnot. And he sees things that he sees like the vision and whatnot. But
early.
Early. He's been doing this from
Yeah,
time. Do you know what I mean? He's been doing this from long time, and it's like it's hard to. Where am I going with this, man? But it's just like it's hard sometimes to turn down the big opportunities when they do come along, because you're like, well, I've been grinding so hard for this. Like when an
yeah,
opportunity like Sky Sports comes along, like you're not gonna really
mm,
say no, are you? Like, do you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
for you, you've been on Sky Sports a few times. Like how did that come about?
So there's how did that come about? So Jeanette Kouachi, who's a broadcaster,
Okay.
she built a network of um black women in sports, and that's literally what our that's literally what our WhatsApp group is called.
Okay.
And I don't know, they found me years ago, maybe on Twitter or on YouTube or something. No, it's only a small group. Some really notable names in there. So she works for the BBC.
So.
Samantha Johnson, who works for the Turkish media, and she used to work for
Mhm.
Sky Sports, but she went to Turkey. Jessica Crichton, who works at Sky Sports News now. Anne-Marie Batson, like I can't even.
Yeah.
There's too many names, right? But there's
That's
some
sick though, man.
really good names in there, and we all met up to go golf and dinner one time just to like get to know each other and stuff. And we just had this network of just, you know, being a network in it.
Yeah. Sick.
And just from that, being involved in that group, even though that group was created maybe like what, 4 years ago or something, we don't speak often, but the people in that group have always helped each other out. So
Yeah.
Jessica Crichton used to work at, oh, don't kill me if I get this wrong, I think ITV. I always get mixed up, either BBC or ITV News, right? And then she recently, maybe 2 years ago, moved to Sky Sports.
Yeah.
Um, so she's been working there for a couple of years, and it's just who you know, innit? So when they said they were looking for Arsenal creators to talk about
Yeah.
Arsenal transfer window, she said, "Oh, I know someone, Pippa Monique, good
Dope.
friend of mine." So she brought me in, and then I brought my friend in. You know,
Mm.
so that's how kind of how it works. It really is who you know. So just from being in that network, and it was that was a big thing for them welcoming me into that group, because even when they welcomed me in and we went to that dinner, everyone was like established. So like
Yeah.
we had to go around and well, it wasn't like cheesy like first day of school type of thing, but we all went around the table saying who we are and what we
Induction
do.
day.
Yeah, like, and everyone was like, oh, so and so BBC, oh, so and so TRT Media, oh, so and so The Guardian, oh, so and so, and I was just like, oh, I'm Pippa, I have a YouTube channel. I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't fit in, and I've always felt like I've never fitted in to any group in this media thing. Like even when you spoke about Poet there,
Yeah.
even then I thought, oh, Papa don't fit in, because I was seeing what Poet and all his friends were doing in the industry, smashing up events, hosting, presenting, all brand deals, and I was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like, I don't fit in anywhere. Like I don't fit in
Yeah.
there. I don't fit in mainstream. I don't fit in here. I'm just me by myself. And that's one of that in that period. That's when I started questioning myself. I was like, I don't fit into what anyone else is doing right now. And that's when that's the one time I questioned my career. Like, where am I going? Like, I don't
Yeah.
see anyone else that's like me.
So how did you find that lane? Because I feel like a lot of people are like that. It's like, what am I like? What direction am I going towards? And you know, I feel like that's part of the journey anyway. And again, like I had Robbie on the platform as well, and yeah, check it out, people. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, like Robbie was very adamant in terms of the journey, like where he first started off, and he didn't really know what direction it was going to go into, but obviously he had the plan, but it was just about in terms of the journey. Like, so for yourself, like, how did you kind of get to grips with and say, you know what, I feel like obviously you're still on a journey, like you said earlier on, but
Yeah.
I feel like seeing what you're doing, I feel like there is a plan behind it, because if there wasn't no plan, you wouldn't have gone this far. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I'm winging it, mate.
nah. You're not. I don't feel. I think subconsciously there must be a plan behind of what you're doing, because like I said, there's things of you. There's an element of you that you're probably just doing it and you're going with emotion, but there's got to be something like, you know, like this is what I want to do or whatnot. But going back to you creating your lane, like what, like how did you kind of get into grips with that, like in terms of finding this is your niche? Because like you said, you was in that table and everyone's talking about BBC, Sky Sports,
Yeah.
and you're saying I'm YouTube and whatnot. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like how did you kind of again build that confidence and find your lane?
Just I know it's going to sound cliche and probably the answer you expect, but just being around people like Robbie. So obviously I'm around him a lot more now because I'm more involved in AFTV, and like
Yeah,
because I've seen his journey from the beginning, that gives me like what's the word, like I have that vision because
yeah.
I've seen his
You've
vision.
seen it,
And
yeah,
our journeys are not the same, but I can basically look at him as a blueprint to see what he's done and how when he quit his job and how he took the business further
Yeah.
and how he does this and how he brings in other people. Where I've seen it firsthand, that's what gives me the confidence. I'm like, I know we're not the same. He's a man, I'm a woman, he's
Yeah.
a lot older. Do you know what I mean? But still, I've seen that he's done it his way. And obviously I can take points of what he's doing. And just because now the YouTube community is bigger and better, and there's so many rooms for collaborations now. Because before it used to be, I hate to say it, but it used to be just me and a couple other people. There would never be
Yeah.
like uh well, no, there was a Liverpool channel to be fair, but like other clubs, like
Yeah. West
you
Ham and
couldn't
all of
easily
that.
just go on. Yeah, you couldn't just easily go on YouTube and find a dedicated Leicester fan or a
Yeah.
dedicated, West Ham fan, like you said. But now there's so many fans of different clubs with YouTube content. I can just like enjoy content and see that there's a community here, even though we may not all be linked or communicate regularly. We all know each other, type of thing. Now there's Man City channels. Like whoever thought
Yeah.
there'll be a Man City channel?
Yeah, true, yeah,
No
boy.
shade.
No, for real, man. And obviously you got people like myself jumping on. Like, again,
Exactly.
I would never, like, what, 10 years ago, me doing this, like getting in front of camera and whatnot, and doing, sitting
Yeah.
down and talking about like football in general, I would have never thought that. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, again, like you said, that's the beauty of YouTube. Like, you can create your own lane as well. So it's like, if people are out there and they don't know what they want to do, just pick up that camera, man. All we need is that phone. Do you know what I
Exactly.
mean? You
Just
don't
start.
even need much. Like, just get that phone out. And you've seen the likes of, obviously, like Troops and DT that have come through AFTV, and they've created their own platforms. And there's so many other people that, obviously, off the top of my head, but yeah, man, that's the beauty of it, and that's the beauty of YouTube, and it's about being consistent. Do you know what I mean? Because even like
Yeah,
myself,
that's the main thing.
I'm looking at like the views. I'm like, but this only got like 50 views or whatnot. These are getting X, Y, and Z, and it's like you can't really compare yourself because they're a different part of their journey. Do you know what I mean? They've been doing it for way longer. Like I've been doing it for the past 6 months, so it's like it's easy like to kind of compare yourself to someone else and be like, well, they've done it for like a year and they've already got X, Y, and Z. So like with you, was there ever a moment like where you felt like, oh, well, these are with ITV or BBC, like for me, I'm still early on in my journey. Like, did you feel like this is gonna be hard for you to get to the level where you're at the moment?
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I spoke about all the things that was setting me back, but I didn't speak about the major setback.
Yeah.
I never had childcare ever. And that is one of the most important things because in this industry, you can put in all the work you want, but like I say, it's who you know. And I'm one of those people that people probably know me, but they think to themselves, why have I never met this girl? How come I never see her anywhere? Because
Yeah.
I couldn't go nowhere. Like I'm at home with my children. So when there's all these big events like World Cup, I gave birth to my second child during the World Cup 2018, and I was actually meant to be at that World Cup.
Mad.
And I went through all these like postnatal, not depression, but I was just like questioning my life, like, what's wrong with your timing? You knew you was going to the World Cup. How you out here giving birth and all this? Like, do you know what I mean?
But that's a blessing though, man. Come on, that's like,
Of course.
you know what I mean? But yeah, I hear what you're saying though. I hear what you're saying.
And it's like, I kept thinking, oh, it's so hard to be a woman. I've made it even harder for myself because I'm out here building a family whilst trying to build a career, like pick a side, but I'm trying to do both. But at the end of the day, I'm still managing to do it because the children are a lot older now. Well, not that old, but do you know what I mean? It's a lot easier to navigate your way through life when they're older and at school and stuff. So, but back then, I used to think I'm not going to make it far because when you're in that moment, you just think, oh, I've got babies. They're always going to be babies. Like I'm always going to have mad responsibility, but they grow up, you get more time to yourself. But back then I kept thinking I can't be in these places and go to these events. And certain times I couldn't even I got a season ticket. Certain times I couldn't even go to football matches because them late 8 p.m. kickoffs on a Thursday, Europa League, and just like,
gotta put the kids in bed.
One out.
Yeah.
I missed that one out.
Nah, yeah, but again, man, that's the beauty of the journey. Again, it's like you going through those experiences and that's the beauty of it, man. And again, anyone that's listening that maybe doubting themselves or whatnot, like, you know what I'm saying? Pip can do it, we can all do it. Do you know what I mean? And you've got responsibilities.
If I can do it, I swear to you, anyone could do it. Because you got to remember, there's so many boxes that I'm not like. I have to say, I'm black, I'm a woman, I have children. There's so many things that are holding me back, but I've managed to do things.
Yeah.
So literally, if I can do it, I swear to you, anyone can do it.
And that's the thing about you as well, though, man. Like you haven't used those as an excuse to say, you know what, like, yeah, I'm young, I might be black and whatnot, like I'm not gonna get into the industry. Like, you haven't used as an excuse, and don't
No.
get it twisted, obviously that is there, like that is the reality of it as well. Like that's the harsh reality, which I feel like, again, I spoke to Robbie about it the other day, where he's like, it's changing slowly, but
Yeah.
obviously it's still there. Do you know what I mean? But like, again, what, like, why didn't you use that as an excuse? Because you could have been one of those people who was like, oh, I could have done that, but there was a lot of barriers why I couldn't have do it. Like, why wasn't you one of those
It's not.
people?
That's not in my DNA, man. I could never be that person. I don't know why. I just can't. Both my parents are. I would like to say successful.
Yeah,
Like they're both doing well in their lives. They both own nice houses. They both drive big whips. They're both comfortable in their life.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? I can't come and be the child that just came and gave birth, which is obviously a very big thing in life.
yeah,
Like, it's a blessing to have children. Even that, trust me, your parents are proud because they got grandchildren now. But
yeah, for
I want
sure.
to be more than just someone that gave you grandchildren. I want to make you proud because you've done this. You've got your. I didn't finish uni. I didn't get my degree, so I messed up there as well. Do you know what I mean? So they've got their
Mm,
degrees, they've got their masters, they've got this, they've got that. I can't just come and do nothing with my life and
yeah,
think, oh, I can't do it because of these excuses. Because they had barriers too when they were growing up, and they
mm,
overcame them.
for
And
sure, man.
so I just look at them and think, I can't come and disgrace my family like this
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I have
yeah,
no excuse. I've had a good upbringing. I have access to things. I've had good jobs. I've been able to, fund myself and get equipment and do all these things. I have to like keep on the legacy of the family.
yeah,
Do you know what I
man.
mean? I can't come and just break it down now.
Nah, for sure, and
I
you're
have to, I have
definitely.
to, I have to do better than them, to be honest.
Yeah, well, boy, do you know what I'm saying? This is a day and age where I feel like anything's possible. Do you know what I mean? Like, with the world that we're living in, with the access to internet, like there's so much, like places you can just interact with people. Like, you could, like, for instance,
Mm,
obviously now I'm in the Middle East. You're in London. Like, just things
yeah.
like this. Back in the days we couldn't really do. So it's like there's no excuses, man. And even for myself, I was like, because to be honest with you, I wanted to do a podcast for a little while, but I've always been like, oh man, I don't want to show my face or whatever, like, and do
Yeah.
you know what I
I
mean?
get you.
And like the whole speaking thing as well, I'm still, when it comes to coaching, once I get on a pitch, I'm flowing, like,
Mm,
it's not a problem. But when it comes to like presenting and kind of like public speaking, I'm not the best. Like, the hackney comes out of
yeah.
me. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's
Oh,
like,
mate.
I thought, you know what, this is for myself as well. Like, let me test myself. Let me try and work on like my public speaking, and obviously there's gonna be people be like, what is this guy on about? But at the same time,
Mm,
I'm doing it for myself, man. And obviously I'm also doing it for the younger generations that are going through
yeah.
like whatever they're going through, and hearing stories like yourself, which is
Mm,
important, man, because like whoever listens to this, I hope, if whoever's listening to this, I'm sure it's going to resonate with them, and even
yeah.
inspire them to go and do what you've been doing, or even bigger and
Yeah.
better things as well, man. Do you know what I mean? So that was the
Let me
whole
give you a
purpose
little
of this.
story actually,
Love it. Go
because
on.
I actually did give up at one point because I could have been, I don't know, bigger than I am now.
Yeah.
Because even I saw you at this back in the, not back in the day, but like 2014 times, I was popping off on the internet because, I
Yeah.
was talking about football and everyone respected what I was saying. And I don't even have the Instagram account I have now. I had a different Instagram. I think I
Okay.
had like 8K. I had like bare, at that time, that was bare
Yeah.
followers.
Of
Like
course.
my
Yeah. Yeah.
YouTube was doing well. And I went to this Nike event that I even saw you at,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Back in the days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And Daniel Sturridge was there, and he was
Yeah.
obviously like the man of the moment back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was all mad because I was there minding my business, watching the cage football that was
The
going on
cage
at this
football. Yeah.
event, and he was on the mic at the front, and he was like, "Yo, Pip," or whatever. No, what did I
Yeah.
call myself on Instagram back then? Can't remember, but he called me by my
Yeah.
Instagram name, and I was like, "Hold on a minute."
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, "What?" And at this point, 2014, he wasn't the only one. There was loads of footballers that knew who I was,
Yeah.
and for some reason, and I was getting mad views on certain videos as well. And I don't know why, but that scared me. And that was another reason I
Okay.
took a step back. I don't know why. So you actually have to be ready for these things.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
after that event, I was on my way home. I'm on the phone to my mum saying, "Oh my God, Daniel Sturridge knows me. He shouted me out." And as I'm walking, he hops out of the car because he was like about to leave, gives me a hug and says, "Nice to meet you. I see what you're doing." Da, 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 da.
Sick.
And I'm there lost for words, like, huh? Like,
Sick.
do you know what I mean? I
Sick.
wasn't ready for it. Do you know what I mean? So life comes at you fast because
Yeah.
that could have been my moment back then.
Yeah.
And I could have sat back and said, "Oh, I tried, I did it. That's how far I got." But I picked myself up and start it again. Do you know what I mean? So you always pick yourself up. You have moments where you can just quit it. You
Yeah,
have
yeah,
good moments. You have stories that you can tell,
yeah.
and you think, yeah, I did that, I completed it. But no, there's more. You can get back on it and just carry on.
Nah, for sure, man. And that's dope, man. Because yeah, I remember that event as well, and it was like it was just bare ballers. There was so many ballers there. Yeah, like
Yeah,
you said,
players there. Yeah.
storage. Like who else was there? A couple man with. I can't remember exactly
I
who, but
think what's my man's name? Crystal Palace. Does he play Crystal Palace anymore? Benteke.
Benteke. Yeah, he was there. He was there.
Benteke
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
there. Danny
Who was
Welbeck was there.
was Ruiz there? Like
Oh, I
Marco
don't
Ruiz.
remember.
I remember
No,
there
not
was
that
one.
one. I would have remembered that.
I think there was like a one. I think it was a big baller that was there as well. Like that was playing abroad. I can't remember, man. But yeah, things like that, man, is sick. And like you said, it's like you might have a vision where you want to go to, but it's like, are you ready for that? Are you ready for that sort of
Yeah.
level? Do you know what I mean? Because like you said, it's kind of like that 8 Mile thing. Do you know what I mean? Where like you get up on the stage, this is your moment, and then it's just like you're
Yeah, and I
choking.
was
Do you know what I
not
mean?
ready. I choked. I actually choked. I was like, oh mate, these times I was mad broke these times, and I was like, oh, all these people know who I am. And
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
got paranoid that people were paying attention to my life, and I didn't want them to, because I was like, I'm not where I want to be right now. And everyone
yeah,
just all eyes are on me, and I'm just like, this is
yeah, yeah.
panic moment.
But that's what I'm saying. Because then the same thing with that scene and with that movie in general is that I always use that as a reference because obviously he's gone up on the stage and he's choking and whatnot. It could have gone left. It could have been a thing where like, you know what, I don't want to do this no more. But he said, you know what, he had obviously his trials and tribulations along the way. He got back on the stage, and like you said, it's never too late. So you can get back on the stage and, do you know what I mean? Talk about yourself and all of that, and then before you know it, you're the M&Ms of this world, or you're the Pippa Moniques of this world. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, man, it's a beautiful journey, man. But before we wrap it up quickly, yeah, just in terms of the women's game, because it's progressing so much,
yeah,
and rightly so as well, man. Because I remember again, just watching it back in the days, I used to go and watch the Arsenal ladies, when Steph Houghton was there,
yeah,
and I remember like watching Jordan Nobes, yeah, Jordan Nobes,
yeah.
and mate, baller. To me, when I first saw her,
Still
I
a
was like,
baller.
yeah, well, I ain't seen her in a little while, but I just said
Yeah.
baller. When I was watching that game, and it's like, and I got an episode of Nina Wilson. She's a goalkeeper currently playing that in Iceland, and we were just talking about that as well, where it's like it's more of a family feel when you go and watch these games,
Yeah, it is.
rather than it's like when you do go and watch like the men's game, it's like you're so far away from everything, unless obviously you're sitting by the bench or whatever. But I mean, like it's still like they're not accessible. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like the when I used to go and watch the games, like Steph and Danielle Carter and all of them, like will come to the fans and take pictures and have a
They still
conversation
do
with
that,
them.
by the way.
Sick. Then this is what I'm
They
saying.
still
Like,
do that.
you know what I mean? Like for you, like, do you feel like that's gonna change eventually?
I don't know, because I feel like they're always going to be as accessible as they can be. It's not up,
Yeah.
like if it was up to them, they will. But where there's more eyes and more sponsorships and all these other things coming into the women's game now,
Yeah.
there's more people in control saying, right, get off the pitch now, let's do this. But
Yeah.
when they at the beginning of last season, when they had the big sellouts at Stamford Bridge, and I think it was the Etihad,
Yeah.
was it Etihad? No, the Manchester Derby. And even then, at a full stadium where they had record-breaking numbers for women's game, the play obviously it's a lot different then, because normally at your normal ground,
Yeah.
you can get to as much people as you can, because they all come. The ones that stay behind come forwards to the
Yeah.
surface. You know what I mean? But when you're in big grounds like that, you can't really get to the crowd. You have to climb
Yeah.
over barriers, do all that. If you go know what your Premier League grounds like,
Yeah.
it's hard to get next to the fans. But they still did it at those games. So if they continue to have their games at the grounds they currently do now, I think it will continue for a long time. But if for
Mm.
whatever reason, which a lot of fans hope for, if they ever start playing at big stadiums, it's going to be a lot harder. There's going to be
Yeah.
just like the men's. There's going to be no access really.
Yeah. No, for sure, man. And how far do you feel like the game's gonna go, like in terms of the women's game?
I don't know. At one point I thought it was going to go in the next 5 years. It'll be huge. But last night there was Conti Cup games, which is like the equivalent to like the Carabao Cup League
Yeah.
games, League Cup, yeah. And they were not televised anywhere.
Who's it?
There was no commentators. There was only the journalists and it's a very small community. So like, I'm one of the journalists, but I mainly just cover Arsenal games.
Okay.
But I didn't go to any of the games last night. Because throughout since this whole COVID thing, it's been hard to get a press pass if you're not like main media, like
Yeah.
the big, the big
Yeah. Yeah.
broadcasters and
Yeah.
stuff. But this one was open to all journalists, because it wasn't televised. There was no commentary, as I said, and the small community of women's journalists, women's football journalists, had to travel up and down the country to each game. So there's a game in Merseyside, Liverpool
Yeah.
game against I mean, there's an Everton game as well, against Manchester City. There's, or was it Man United? Sorry, and then there's Arsenal against Chelsea and Tottenham as well. And they're having
Yeah.
to travel up and down the country to keep us updated. And then one of the journalists took a video on her phone of one of the goals, and they told the FA or someone told her to take it down. But like, there's fans wanting to watch the game
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
have no access to it whatsoever. Like,
But
you
why
wouldn't
was
even know
that?
the game happened.
Why
We
they
don't
tempted?
know. Oh, I don't know. It was last night. It was absolutely ridiculous. I said the game's come
Mm.
so far for something like this to happen, and I know it's not a league game, and in normal circumstances, these games are not on the television anyway,
Yeah.
except for when it's the final.
Okay.
But the fact that we didn't have no access to it at all was just a bit like, in a time like this where you
Mm.
can't physically go to the games, because normally you'd go to them.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was just it was just a bit of a dampener on how far the women's games come, to be
So
honest.
do you feel like there's still a long way to go?
A long way. I thought not within the league though. I feel like the
Yeah.
league is growing at a good rate. Like the WSL is growing at a
Yeah.
good rate, and the championship as well. But for games like that, Conti Cup, I feel like more should be done.
Okay. Yeah, man. I feel me personally. Anyway, it's like again since when was this? Like, yeah,
That must have
probably
been
yeah, a
time,
long time ago.
2000.
Yeah, when Steph was playing, it was a long time ago. Because I remember I met her out
Crazy.
in Cyprus when I was playing out there, and I came back to the UK. But yeah, man, like just to see the way the game's growing so much, and like the standard is good, man. The standard is
Yeah.
actually good. Like, do you know what I mean? There's some good players out there. So, I feel like again, it's one of those things where it's a market. And like you said, if anyone like maybe is listening and they want to, cover the women's game, I feel like this is a good time to kind of get involved with it
Yeah.
and help spread the word. So amazing. But Pip, I'm not gonna ask you like what's next and whatnot, blah blah, and all that stuff, yeah. But like, where do you see yourself like in terms of again in terms of the journey for yourself?
I'm so sorry, yeah, but I actually don't know. I'm just out here. I'm just free spirit.
That's
I'm
dope.
just doing whatever I do, and just wherever it
Mm,
takes me, whatever doors it opens. I don't want to put myself in a box too much. Like,
yeah,
if you was to ask me this question 5 years ago, I would have said, "Oh, I want to be at the desk at Sky
yeah,
Sports News." That was the ultimate goal about 5 6 years ago. But now, where the media industry is changing so much, and the online is more of the upper hand, like you're more in
yeah.
control of your content and how you can present yourself in front of camera.
Mm,
I don't know. I really want to just try and grow my online presence as well as do TV stuff as well.
yeah,
I don't know how to put that into words to say what's next, like what do I want to do, type of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like,
No, I
I just
feel
want to
like,
be
yeah,
present.
no, no, that's sick, man. That's sick. I feel like we're in that crossroads at the moment with everything that's going on in the world, where it's like a lot of people are questioning a lot of things. You know what I mean? Where what direction that they want to head to, and especially like if you're a creator, like you're
Mm-hmm.
very mindful of how you present yourself and what sort of things and energy you put out to the world. So if it's a thing where like you have your own platform, then obviously you can control that on what direction you want to head to. But like, mate, I feel like yeah, it's a good time, definitely a good time to grow
Yeah.
and explore new things, man. So, but Pip, I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on, sharing a little bit about your
Thank you for having
journey.
me.
Anytime,
No
man,
worries.
anytime. And yeah, man, I wish you the best of luck. I'm sure you're gonna be doing your thing anyway. But how can people find out about you?
Well, I'm on social media. Everything's like Pippa Monique. My Instagram's Pippa_Monique. YouTube's Pippa Monique. Twitter's Pippa Monique. It's all the same. Just write my name and you'll find me. I'm always
Sick.
posting content on my YouTube channel, mainly about Arsenal, football in general. But yeah, I'm active on all my social media platforms.
Dope, man. Obviously, we'll put that in the link in the description anyway. But Pip, thank you again. Obviously, we'll touch base soon as well. And yeah, man, wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, man. I love the podcast, man. Thank you so much.
Try, man. Thank you, man. And before I finish as well, I need to get used to this. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Share it with at
Share
least
it.
2 friends as well. Or
Love
more.
it. Or more. I love it, man. But yeah, Pip, bless, man. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
No worries.